dāgē jīnsōng jībē zōnām dōlā bēnjē zāngjē dōparā yō zāngjē chētāng zōjē zōnām lā jāngjō pārdō dāni yāpsō dāgē jīnsō jībē zōnām jē dōlā bēnjē zāngjē dōparā yō zāngjē chētāng zōjē zōnām lā jāngjō pārdō dāni yāpsō dāgē jīnsō jībē zōnām jē dōlā bēnjē zāngjē dōparā yō. From now until enlightenment, I take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, and by the merit created in this practice, may I attain the state of Buddhahood for the benefit of all sentient beings. From now until enlightenment, I take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, and by the merit created in this practice, may I attain the state of Buddhahood for the benefit of all sentient beings. From now until enlightenment, I take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, and by the merit created in this practice, may I attain the state of Buddhahood for the benefit of all sentient beings. The great Master Nagarjuna, in his appreciation to Buddha Shakyamuni, although Buddha Shakyamuni has many different qualities, but in this verse Nagarjuna focused or mentioned the greatness of his teachings on dependent arising. In the verse he mentioned that the one who holds great compassion in mind, and the one who eliminated all views, and the one who gave the teachings or dharma, prostrate to you, Gautama Buddha. So here he mainly kind of appreciate Buddha on his teachings of philosophy or concept of dependent arising or dependent origination. This concept of dependent origination is the one in Buddhism that leads followers to attain liberation. And this is also the concept of philosophy that leads followers to the attainment of ultimate enlightenment. However, this philosophy of dependent origination or dependent arising is very much related with the practice of altruistic mind or awakening mind.
Dini marido wangi nyomo maki nyomo ge le masa dus chidi gala ni thabada thanje kimbe kopang sedi rangi bithol yes dus chin so ares.
In order to free or liberate ourselves from the cyclic existence, it depends very much on the this understanding of dependent origination or dependent arising, because the very reason why we are binded or why we are still in cyclic existence is the root cause is ignorance or not knowing. The direct antidote or the exact opposite of this ignorance or not knowing is the understanding of profound emptiness or dependent arising. So therefore practitioners try to first start from having an understanding of this emptiness or dependent arising, simply kind of listening to the words or teachings, and then try to attain some understanding, and whatever they have understanding, gain understanding from listening, they try to interpret that understanding to actual meaning, and then eventually kind of when they realize real or genuine understanding of emptiness or dependent arising philosophy, they totally eliminate the cause or origin of the opposite, which is ignorance or not knowing. And without having that ignorance or not knowing, there is no negative karma, which is the result of not knowing or ignorance. And when there is no negative karma created, practitioner kind of naturally kind of goes towards the attaining of liberation and enlightenment. So when we say practice in Buddhism, we are mainly referring to two things. The first one is how to free ourselves from cyclic existence, and second is how to eliminate or destroy or separate ourselves from all kinds of negative emotions or destructive emotions. And we talk about there is a way that we can completely free ourselves from destructive or negative emotions. So in one word, the practice is transformation of ourselves, changing of ourselves in our thought, and that is the practice. And the ultimate result or destination, which is enlightenment. In Buddhism, we talk about enlightenment is something that can be attainable by any of us, any ordinary people. So that is really kind of encouraging to begin with. So that's very kind of brief, sort of a review about what we mean Buddhist practice, especially for the newcomers. And we are, Keshila did that before going on to the text that we are studying for this class, which is the text on mind training.
되는 맛이야 돼. 말아도 시작에 다 로션 이런 거 지제는 마다 때 내가 뭐 과시도 된 사람을 재미도 왔어. 가지 배달로 야네도 보리 때 도스지나 배달 연민지대. 보다 전생 린 날라 아니 전주기 선냐는 차 용피에지. 당분에 그시 제가 시부지 내 민부지 손을 보면 돼. 전쟁 나와.
The text that we are studying, mind training like the rays of sun, which is actually the commentary to the one of the mind training short text, 7-point mind training. This the text on mind training is very practice-oriented text, so therefore it is not easy to, of course, understand and put into practice, and it requires a long time or period of, first of all, to study and understand, the concepts and meaning, and then here the author Chekawa's 7-point mind training presents the practice of altruistic mind in 7-point. Uh, 7-point mind training begins with saying practice first in preliminaries. So this first point talks about the practice of preliminaries. Under the preliminaries, we see the Buddhist concept of cause and effect, law of causality, of karma, concepts of impermanence, preciousness of human rebirth, and how difficult to attain. And all of this comes under the practice of preliminaries. And when we look from the perspective of three types of practitioners, preliminary talks a lot about the practice of small and medium school practitioners. The second point is the actual practice of awakening mind or altruistic mind. Under that comes the meaning, a definition of altruistic mind or awakening mind or bodhicitta, and different types of bodhicitta, and different illustrations or examples or metaphors. We find different metaphors based on boundary, based on example, like 22 different types, and mainly a relative and ultimate altruistic mind. And so this becomes the main kind of subject of these teachings. And if you want to study kind of more detail, then one needs to study such text as A Guide to the Bodhisattva's Way of Life by Shantideva. Also, under that comes the the understanding of different types of relative altruistic mind, such as aspiring and engaging altruistic or awakening mind.
rāngi sīmla nīne yechini sāmli thoni yuwa tāni nyamlen la khatanga yechi pechi shigwa resi ngone pe lab chenpo resi.
And the third point is transforming problems or negative circumstances into a path to attain altruistic mind. Being kind of living in a society, being a social animal, we always interact with the other people, and that's it's a very much part of our life. And when we do that, there's we encounter all different kinds of problems, obstacles, barriers, hindrances. So with one's own kind of thought practice, thought training, this point talks about how you can transform those negative problems or sufferings or obstacles into something which is very kind of positive, constructive in your practice. In order to make that happen, here we see a very detailed, teachings on the negative impact or disadvantages of self-cherishing thought or ego mind, and benefits of other cherishing thought. So these two are very important kind of concept that one needs to understand in order to have a transformation of problems into a sort of spiritual or awakening path. And the fourth point is integrating practice in one lifetime. So how can one do a practice within a one lifetime? Both the practice of relative and ultimate altruistic mind or awakening mind. Here again, one needs to focus on the understanding of 2 points mentioned before. Disadvantages of other cherishing thought, self-cherishing thought or ego mind, and advantages of other cherishing thought. And through this understanding, attaining of what we call selflessness, and practice of altruistic or awakening mind. And the fifth point is measures of mind training. When and how do you know that you have attained the mind training practice? And sixth point is 18 commitments of mind training, and we finished those. And now, right now, we are on the seventh point, which is 22 advices or instructions of the mind training.
소당 르리 송지 아랑기 켈람베 돈바숨 이세 지 랑기 탐지 남다 제자도 나시베 로종이 탐지 남 소당 리 지데 송마자오 세도 와다도 송도 다파진 계산팀이래 다 돈바숨 세디가라 소달게 돈바 다 김바이나 김베네베 김베 돈바 용그레 니니키 돈바 용그레 이주 소달게 돈바 송도아래 니니키 돈바 되게 감가 김베 돈바 자라데 람주네나 람주네네 데 람도 수도다네 데 롱게 돈바 그런 네 돈바 수도 보아래 아니 이주 소달게 돈바 소달게 돈지 아니 대가 라자 준비해 돈바 다저 김바도 통화 차려. 때문에 그 최대 말에는 팀도는 송고에 차려. 이거가 매칭벌 소소했는데 원이 니지 망고를 지나. 근데요. 어떤 부신이 송고에
If you have a same textbook, we're on page 99. Second last paragraph. We are under that 22 instructions or advices. Guard both at the course of your life. The pledge or natural commitments of the 3 vows you have taken, and in particular the commitments of mind training explained above, should be guarded even at the course of your life. So the point here is that even at the course of your life, one should be guarding or committing to whatever vows that you have taken. And here talks about 3 vows. 3 vows. First is individual liberation vow, and second is vows of noble beings or bodhisattvas or bodhicitta vow, and third is the vows of tantric or vajrayana vows. Under the first one, individual liberation vows, under that comes the vows of taking a refuge, vows of lay people, 12 or 24 hours vow, and vows of fully ordained monks and nuns and novices. All of this comes under the individual liberation vow. And many of the vows that comes under the individual liberation vows are something that is very much part of our kind of legal system, such as abstaining from killing. Of course, abstaining from killing is not beneficial only in terms of spiritual, but just living in a community, we have to abstain from this kind of act. And also, abstaining from act of sexual misconduct. These are something that is a part of our law, and therefore, these are something that is beneficial even for lay people.
팀갈제 팀나 투미도 선데 송이나 소남제다 가봤다 팀들 지나기니 답에 가서버렸다 지지 돈말을 마서 균 돈은 님이 돈은 아니 마동이 인상 소남 사야라 뱅겨 말했지 지나지리나 어떻게 니가라 당원에 누모는 균도다 이 두신 돈이나 당원에 최대 팀이 뒤지다가 고
although kind of we abstain from these kind of negative or destructive actions or deeds, but talking from whether we create any positive merits by abstaining from these activities, it depends on how you abstain from, especially in your thought or your intention. If you abstain from doing something negative activities, simply kind of fear of punishment, being kind of getting into prison, then that is abstention, but it is not considered as accumulating any positive merits, therefore not spiritual practice. In order to become a spiritual practice and accumulating a positive merits, one needs to be abstaining with seeing the negative impacts of negative action. So that is important, although both are kind of abstaining, but abstaining with the understanding of negative impacts or negative result, rather than just a sense of fearness of being punished or next sentence from the root text is train in the three difficulties. And this is also very kind of important practice, not only for Buddhist practitioners, but also those who don't believe in spiritual religious practice, because here it is talking about separating or destroying the cause of destructive emotions. And because all of us, regardless of having a religious belief or not, we don't want to suffer, we don't want to have unhappiness, and therefore it is healthy and helpful for us, to remove those causes of unhappiness and suffering. So here it talks about three difficulties. In the first place, it is hard to remember the remedies for the disturbing emotions. Secondly, it is difficult to oppose them. And thirdly, it is difficult to cut their continuity. So the first is for ordinary people, it is very difficult to remember antidotes or remedies of the disturbing emotions or destructive emotions or negative emotions, or you can say or defilements or delusions or afflictions, whatever you called, because why it is difficult to have an antidote and to remember remedies, because in our ordinary thought process, we usually don't look at the negative impact of negative emotions. Emotions, destructive nature or destructive function. Therefore, without seeing that, we usually don't remember and don't think about applying of antidotes that is needed for disturbing emotions. And because we are so much familiar, so much used to the negative, emotions, and we feel like those are sort of part of us, and so therefore it's difficult for us to see and perceive, destructive part of those emotions. And not only that, secondly, if we kind of see, destructive emotions as a destructive, something cause of unhappiness, difficulties, problems, it is difficult to apply those antidotes. Difficult to oppose them, difficult to kind of separate or kick out from our mind. Not only that, third, it is difficult to cut their continuity. Even if you know how to apply antidotes and try to oppose, but doing it continuously until the end of complete destruction, it's difficult. So these are the three kind of difficulties that one needs to be, kind of focused upon. So therefore, recognizing the disturbing emotions and mindful of their disadvantages, make efforts through various means to dispel them and to put an end to sequence. So therefore it says recognizing disturbing emotions as disturbing emotions, the cause of our unhappiness, our suffering, of our difficulties and problem, and being mindfulness of those destructive emotions. And if you are aware of that, then it could be immense benefits. As soon as you are aware that there is almost a rising of hatred or anger, whatever negative emotions it, you become careful of not generating or not getting under the influence of those negative, destructive, emotions. So you will be able to control or kind of, stop right there before that thought becoming complete hatred or anger. And therefore you don't have to experience the consequences of that destructive emotions or thought. And when we say afflictions or delusions or defilements, like His Holiness the Dalai Lama and many of teachers says that afflictions or delusions, when we say that, it refers to the thought that makes our mind disturbed, unstable, uncomfortable, not calm. So so the point here is it is important, as we mentioned at the beginning of this section, to understand and identify the negative emotions as a cause of unhappiness and suffering, and dispel them with various technique or means, or and put an end to sequence. And there is a way that we can completely reach to the point where all afflictions are sort of destroyed. And in the stages of path, we talk about attaining a path of seeing. A practitioner totally kind of eliminate ignorant self-grasping from its very root, which is the cause of all negative um, karmic actions. So once you have eliminated the root cause of it, you don't have to, you don't create negative karma. Therefore, you don't suffer any negative, unhappiness or result. Um, it is kind of difficult to apply antidote and therefore eliminate these afflictions or destructive emotions. If from the very beginning we considered these negative emotions as a part of our mind, or in even some kind of cases where people consider these negative emotions as something like positive qualities of our mind, if we have that kind of attitude towards afflictions or negative emotions, then probably applying antidotes and remedies won't come up. So what is important here is, as mentioned before, to see and identify negative emotions as a source of our own problem and many of our problems. So if we begin with that kind of step, then gradually and slowly we will develop and become stronger and able to see negative emotions as a source of our own happiness and problem, and then we become much stronger, and that becomes more kind of familiar and more meaningful practice.
상배 하신지 차려. 다들 나랑도 본바슈 준비 당기 용문데 생기 견데 연된도 아주 다르마도 우리 생견 말에 이 생기 생기 연된 말에 생기 견데 자소로서 봐. 이 이미 규제는 경고를 문제 가르치고 다 경고를 문제 동아 감각 둘러 나대기 인사 생치좀 차는 거지 생 차는 거라 용어도 좋고 와 말이지 이거라 이런 모습이 인사 견지 인데 다 견지 인데 다 뜻이 뭐야 참마다 재화생인데 상태 연된 치사 생 차는 거지 생 잠바다 용어를 좋고 생 보람 때들이 잠생 걸로 좋고 인디가 잠바다 재화들 생기나 생기 연된 인디가 인상 경고를 무지게 미라 철로도 만들고는 장택할 거를 세대 무엇이 공부하지 샀다 대바지 거 시부지 내 점벌이 어쩌네 내 점벌이 도와 이거는 좀 공부 때 락점으로 도와
Next point from the instruction from the root text. Transform everything into the great vehicle path. All your actions should be accompanied by love and compassion for all sentient beings and consequent interest in their enlightenment, so that until the end of cyclic existence, the actions of your body, speech, and mind, as well as seeing, hearing, remembering, and contact, can be transformed into the path of the great vehicle. Here, the emphasis of the importance of practice of love and compassion to every sentient beings, and or maintaining in kind of abstaining from 10 negative activities or 10 non-virtuous activities. We can say also kind of is same as kind of engaging in love and compassion and abstaining from harming others. So whatever practice that you do, transforming those into the practice of great vehicle path. Continue with the reading. A bird story says, whether seeing, hearing, remembering, meeting, or talking to them, always do whatever will be beneficial for sentient beings and will bring them peace. And in the words of esteemed Chekawa, may all those who see me become enlightened, and may everyone who comes into contact with me and talks with me consequently reach the state of enlightenment without obstruction. This is the yoga on which to rely. So this kind of practice, always kind of engaging in the practice of love and compassion. And the reason here is that, as here, His Holiness the Dalai Lama says, these positive qualities of the mind, love and compassion, are the kind of innate part or nature of our human mind, and our innate quality of the mind is not kind of destructive, not negative, but more of the innately we are more kind of kind-hearted, compassionate, love. These are quality of the mind, and we do kind of see this as a common ground with the scientific findings. One of the scientists from Wisconsin University, neuroscientists, they come up, David Richardson, they come up with the experiment on a very kind of young baby, and showing them a comic, one comic which involves more kind of harming each another, and another involves more kind of act of positive emotions and love and compassion. So they react more kind of easily, or more kind of sort of pro better reaction towards those the positive emotions pictures. And and although we are more familiar as we grow up, we are more familiar with the negative emotions, but the innate nature of our mind is something positive, very kind of positive and kind of good. And His Holiness, with his understanding of highest Tantra or Vajrayana teachings, he says that the positive, the love and compassions are the positive qualities of the mind. And he says that when our mind becomes its kind of comes or reaches the subtlest nature, subtlest stages, positive qualities of the mind can coexist with the subtlest mind. But however, the destructive thoughts or emotions cannot coexist with the subtlest nature of our mind. And therefore, kind of the importance of this, moral ethics. And nowadays, as many of you know, His Holiness strongly kind of focused on teachings of, moral ethics that has nothing to do with the religion, such as, these ethics of love, compassion. He does focus on teachings and emphasize, and there is a kind of it is a great kind of teachings and beneficial, and we see this point that His Holiness is kind of relying upon. We'll take break after this. Although for beginners, like us, we have this kind of thought which is very kind of discouraging, such as thought of not, hoping to separate ourselves from destructive emotions, or this thought of not able to attain compassion or loving kindness of mind. When we look at the word which in English we use as like a person or self, in Sanskrit word is purush, and the word itself has meaning of having a potential. So having a potential, the meaning here is that each and every individual has a potential to separate themselves from destructive or negative emotions, and each and every individual has a potential to attain and to receive compassion, loving kindness, all kind of positive emotions. So therefore the very meaning of the word has a connotation of that we all have a potential, and um, and we should be using that potential to sort of make happen, able to separate ourselves from cause and cause of unhappiness and destructive emotions, and able to attain qualities of compassion and loving kindness by kind of relying upon these kind of teachings or text. Although it is totally up to individual, and of course we are not saying that you need to become a Buddhist follower, but having a good human qualification becomes a source of your own happiness, which is something that is needed for all of us as a human being. And so therefore, from kind of physical perspective, we have a complete potential ability to attain positive qualities and separate ourselves from negative qualities. And when we look from mentally, or at the level of thought, if we see and understand more about different emotions and their positive and negative impacts, and how to attain and separate, and those could be immense beneficial for our own kind of sake and happiness. We'll take a break here, 15 minutes break.